Hello, Flosstube. How are you today? It is Friday, October 2nd, and it is time for Flosstube. I imagine that. This one is going to be quick, or I'm going to try to make this quick. And I apologize up front if I'm a little flighty and spacey today because I am in the midst of preparing to go on vacation, and it's been a crazy day. I thought I was going to have all day to relax because I thought I was going to be all ready and everything was going to be settled, and I was going to get Flosstube done. It was going to be cool, and that is not how today has gone. So I am still getting packed. I'm still getting ready. But I didn't want you to go yet another week without a floss tube, especially because I don't know if I'll be able to film anything for next Friday. So I wanted to make sure there was something for you to watch. So let's get right into it. I haven't really been watching or listening to anything new to talk about, and I usually tend to ramble on that section anyway, so I will make sure that I listen to or watch something interesting for next time. I'm also, just to give you a heads up, I'm not going to go into haul or purchases this time just for the sake of time. I do have a small pile behind me of stuff that I will be showing you, including flosses, project bags, new patterns, things like that. So you'll have to wait until I get back from vacation to see all that. But for the sake of time, and because I want to give each item its due and not just be like, here's this, here's this, here's this, I'm going to wait until I am a little less stressed and have a little bit more time. So mostly we're going to talk about a couple of whips and a finish, and my immediate plans coming up. So let's get into it. First, I have a new start and a finish that I completely forgot to pull out of the out of the bin. As you probably all know, especially if you watch my my Woolly Wednesday knitcast, the news about Ruth Bader Ginsburg was pretty rough for me. I know it's been rough for a lot of folks. A lot of different feelings, in addition to just general sadness, and missing her and missing everything that she stood for and all of the hope that we all had for her. There's a lot of fear surrounding the fact that she's gone and what might happen now that her place is empty on the Supreme Court. So a lot of feels, a lot of scariness and confusion and that sort of stuff, and last weekend I kind of channeled that into a cross stitch. So I had been talking for a long time about doing the Say Her Name Breonna Taylor stitch, so I felt like last weekend was the perfect time to work on that, and it turns out that it still is a perfect time to work on justice for Breonna Taylor because she still has not received the justice she was due. So I started and finished this all in one weekend. So this is Say Her Name, Breonna Taylor. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. Say Her Name, Breonna Taylor. This is a piece of 25 count Lugana. I think the colorway is pewter, Zweigart. The pattern is from Top Knot Stitcher, I believe. And I believe she's also still donating part or all of the proceeds for this pattern to organizations that will help people of color, as well as in trying to get justice for Breonna Taylor. The threads I've used here, trying to think, I believe these are all hand dyed by Rolanda colors. So the where it says Say Her Name, that's the newest purple that I got from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. The darker purple I've had for a while, and then the yellow, pink, orange variegated that I used for her name is actually that bright skein that I told y'all I was going to use for the whole pattern. So as you can see, I decided to go a little bit different, and I did actually, this is the first time, maybe not the first time, I can't remember, one of the first times that I actually stitched 1/1. So I think it came out really cool. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I want it to be a piece that does more than just says Say Her Name. I want it to do more than that. I may ultimately fully finish this and maybe try to auction it to raise money for some organizations that would help. So we'll see. So that's a new start and a finish. So that's awesome. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but I actually even ironed that. So fully finished, or not fully finished, finished off and ironed, so yay. I have two other new starts, and again, I apologize if I'm going fast. I'm just trying to get this done so I can get it up and you can see it, and then I can get on to other things. So today is October 2nd. That means yesterday was October 1st, which means it was high tea. If you follow Caroline at Off the Grid Needle Arts, she came up with high tea a couple years ago as a way of creating a space to use those special projects that you've been saving, especially if you've gone to the trouble of kitting up something and you've just been holding on to it and waiting to start it. High tea is a way to celebrate that by doing something special and kind of making a big deal about it. And I've been talking for a while about doing this Glendon Place kit that I had purchased last year. So this is called Someone We Love, because someone we love is in heaven. There's a little bit of heaven in our home. I said it without crying. But yeah, I bought this last year from Misty at Mystic Fabrics. It's a limited edition, so I don't believe you can get this anymore. But I will say, once I'm done stitching this, I will be passing this chart on. So if that's something that you're interested in, keep an eye out. But yeah, so this came with the flosses, the Dinky Dye flosses. It came with all of the beads and pretty much everything I need to, and the fabric as well. Everything I need to make the full finished piece. And the fabric is 28 cashel. It's a Picture This plus pewter is the fabric. So since yesterday was October 1st and it was high tea, I did my high tea start. So as you can see, I didn't get very far. I didn't have a ton of time yesterday, which was unfortunate. I had a ton of stuff on my to-do list. I got the to-do list done, but I forgot a bunch of things that I needed to do yesterday, so I had to do them today. But anyway, so as you can see, I have 2 full letters and 2 partial letters, and that's where I got yesterday. So I'm still debating whether I'm going to take this with me on vacation. October 8th is my mom's birthday, and I will be gone during October 8th, so I'm considering taking it with me so that I can work on it at some point during her birthday. And you can also see here I've got my 2 very special needle minders. This one, the double swans, I got from Abby at Top Knot Stitcher Shop, which is fantastic. She has lots of awesome cool bird needle minders, so check her out. And this needle minder, the smaller swan, was gifted to me by Rachel, and it's from Gina's Unique Needle Minders, I believe is her shop. I'll try to make sure that the links to both of these are in the link haven, so you can find these. I also got a high tea needle minder that I'm going to use on other high tea projects in the future, and I do have more high tea plans. I'll talk about that shortly. But yeah, so Rachel Ray gave me this. Incredibly sweet of her. She knew how much this piece meant to me, so she gave me an extra swan to keep my swans company. So yeah, that's my high tea start. It felt really good to get this started, and I'm super happy to keep working on this. It started out a little bit slow, but it got quicker. So I'm looking forward to spending a good amount of time. If I don't get any work done on October 8th, then my next planned date to work on this will be December 21st, which was her and my stepdad's wedding anniversary. So that's another special date for them. So if I don't work on it before then, I will definitely work on it on December 21st. So that's the second new start. Oh, I have another thing to show you that I'll show you in a second. I have too many things going on. Okay, so the other start, which I didn't think I was going to do this chart. I really didn't, but I kept seeing people post their progress of it, and I kept saying, I really want to dye my own fabric for that. If I can dye fabric that I love, then I will do that stitch along. And so last weekend I spent a good amount of time dyeing opal fabric. I dyed a piece of 32 regular Lugana too, but the opal came out too good. So I dyed a piece of fabric and I loved it so much that I was like, okay, yeah, now I have to start this. So everybody welcome Dark Queen of the Seas. So as you can see, I'm only about a third of the way through the first pattern drop, and the second pattern dropped yesterday. This one, I believe, I'm almost 100% positive I'm taking this with me on vacation, especially because it's going to be apropos for the location. I'm going to the beach, so why not work on Dark Queen of the Seas while you're at the beach, if I can get it to focus. I can't see it focus, and okay, I think that's focused. But yeah, so I have one fishy, there are 2 more fishies. and then I'll start the new pattern as well. Actually, I'll probably start the new pattern and then finish the fish. But yeah, so I love this fabric. I've gotten so many compliments on this fabric. I'm super excited. I even, okay, just to fangirl for just a second, I got a compliment directly from Erin, who is the artist. Cassandra and Erin, she is the stitcher and he is the artist, and he actually complimented me directly on my fabric. Like, oh my gosh. So that's pretty impressive. So you can still join in on this stitch along. They have the pattern available on their Etsy shop, their Autumn Lane Stitchery. And so you can still get in on this. It's going to be fabulous. I'm super excited. There's also a specific fabric that is being dyed professionally by Under the Sea Fabrics for this stitch along. So if you want your own special fabric, you can get it from Under the Sea Fabrics. But this is mine and you can't have it. So I'm super excited. I will say, because I dyed, I wasn't sure what I was going to end up with when I was dyeing, so I dyed a few pieces of this. So some of this may be available in the Etsy shop or by some other means in the near future, just FYI. Not before like the 15th of October, just saying. So that's what I've been working on. I meant to say earlier, the reason I didn't post last week was because in addition to all of the dental stuff, I had developed a sinus infection. So that was fun. And I was really not feeling well last week. I'm feeling much better this week, which is great. So I think I'm actually going to feel like a human being when I go on vacation, which is fantastic. I'm really excited about that. So. But yeah, so I've only done this stitching just in the last few days. I mostly knitted last week because knitting is easier for me to do when my head hurts and I don't feel good. So yeah, so that's everything I've worked on. I'll be taking a bunch of stuff with me on vacation because who doesn't want to stitch by the seaside? Oh, the other thing I worked on that I almost forgot. I made a bag, y'all. So you may recall, it's been a couple months ago, I guess, I showed you this fabric that I got off of Spoonflower, and I've made it into a bag. And I'm super excited. It's way bigger than I intended for it to be, because I intended for it to be just big enough to put an 11 by 11 Q-snap with, room to, to put your floss and stuff like that. But this is actually, like, really huge. It will fit probably 2 or 3 loaded Q-snaps. As well as other stuff, so it's massive. But this is that gorgeous swan fabric that I bought off of Spoonflower. I literally got one bag. There was only enough fabric to make one bag. I have a couple of scraps that I'm going to try to turn into a different bag, but I have no idea how I'm going to make a bag out of that because they're long, skinny straps. They're long and skinny, so I don't know how I'll make a bag out of that. And it does have, I've got a couple of project bags in here. It holds other project bags, and it's got that really pretty liner in there as well, and a Q-snap. So yeah, I'm very happy with this bag. It's a little floppier than I would have liked, but I'm still learning how to make bags like this. So I did use some interfacing, some fusible interfacing, but I think if I were to make another one of these, I would use fusible interfacing and some quilt batting, some thin batting, just to give it a little bit more structure and to make it kind of soft and squishy. But yeah, so I made a bag, and here's the bottom. The bottom turned out actually much better than I was expecting. The fabric it got misaligned somehow, and I didn't think it was going to work out well. And I also boxed the bottom, which I'm pretty proud of. It looks pretty good. So, yep. So I made a bag. So that was another thing I did last weekend. My big goals last weekend were get that fabric dyed and get this bag made, and I did that. So I was very proud of myself. My to-do list was done. Yeah. So that's all that I've been working on that's cross-stitch related. So now I will show you or talk to you about what I'm getting ready to do. And let's get into it. Oh, so I mentioned more high tea plans. So Caroline off the grid is planning on doing high tea like once a quarter, so once every 3 or 4 months. I think I might do high tea more often than that, just because, not that I need a ton more whips, but at the same time I have a bunch of really special projects, or just like projects that I'm really excited about that I want to make into an event versus just starting them whenever. So, I kind of want to use them as rewards for doing other things. So I'm going to do, I think for the next few months, what my policy is going to be is, if I finish a current whip, then I get to do a high tea at the first of the next month. So, and I'm considering finishing a whip to be something that's more than a small. Like if I start and finish a small during the month, that doesn't really count. Also, for me, it needs to be a whip that's already existing, not a whip that I started that month. Just because I don't want to start things just to finish them so that I can start a new thing, if that makes any sense. I want to encourage myself to finish those things that I already have started and need to get off my plate. So that's what I'm going to do going forward. So my goal in October will be to finish something that was a whip before October, and so that I can start a new start for high tea on November. And I think my next high tea start might be my Gamer Nouveau by Medusa Dollmaker. I have all the stuff. I just need to figure out how I'm going to put it on a frame, what kind of frame I'm going to use. At some point I might get a scroll frame, but I seriously doubt that I can pay for and purchase and receive the size scroll frame that I need in time to start it November 1st. So I may just use a regular 11 by 11 Q-snap. It's going to be a big project and it's going to take a long time. So I can always start it on a Q-snap, and transfer it to a large scroll frame at some later point. That's not going to hurt anybody or anything. So that's my reward for November. If I get something finished, and it might be Baba Yaga, this would be the month to work on Baba Yaga, wouldn't it? So yeah, so that's a thing. That's how high tea is going to work for me for a while. Like I said, I want to encourage myself to finish stuff, but I also want to give myself a chance to start those big new projects, or just special new projects and that kind of thing. So that's how we're going to go from there. Other things that I do plan on working on very, very soon, like this next week probably. I am going to stitch Michelle Garrett Bendy Stitchy. I'm going to stitch the Drama Llama sampler. And this, I have been waiting for this for so very long. So if you recall, I went to a couple of Zoom crafty chats with Michelle Bendy and several other YouTubers and makers, Abby Topknot Stitcher, Deanna of Darling Whimsy Designs, several other folks who are super cool and super awesome. And during one of those chats, Michelle revealed that this was coming, and I told her that she absolutely had to release this before the election, because we needed to have this to be able to stitch it for the election. So she has released this. It's fantastic. I encourage you to go buy this. She has it available in PDF in her Etsy shop. I was trying to get paper patterns for my shop, but they were back ordered from my distributor, so I don't have any yet. I will have these in my shop someday. But right now you can get it in PDF or paper from Michelle herself, or from your local needlework shop. Anyway, I encourage you highly to get it. It says, "No time for drama. This patriarchy won't dismantle itself." In addition, she has actually stitched an alternate version where instead of the "No time for drama," instead of "No time for drama," it actually has a quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which says something along the lines of, "Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time," or something. I'm misquoting that, but it's a fantastic quote. I am actually going to do an alternate version because I want to keep the no drama quote. So I'm going to rechart the top here with the Ruth Bader Ginsburg quote. And I think I'm going to do something else instead of the alphabet down here too, but I haven't figured out exactly what yet. I may say something like, "May her memory be a blessing," which is a Jewish epitaph for someone who's passed. So I may do something like that. But regardless, and that's only because I'm not a huge fan of the alphabets and samplers. It's just not my thing. So I'm just going to make it say a whole bunch of things. It's going to say a whole bunch of things. And I have my fabric and my floss ready to go. You may have already seen this on Instagram. I have what I think is a really appropriate needle minder picked out. Be a nice human. I think that's incredibly appropriate for this. So these flosses are both from Kathy Davidson at Dying for Cross Stitch. I can't remember the names of them right this minute. Actually, these probably weren't named. I think this was before she started naming her flosses. But these are hand-dyed cotton flosses from Dying for Cross Stitch. And this fabric is a Be Stitch Me fabric. Brandy at Be Stitch Me made these a few weeks ago. The colorway is called Awakening. And I don't know if you can see, it's coming off a little gray on camera, but it's actually green, and I think it's going to be really awesome. So I've already got that cut and sized, ready to go. Just need to drop it on a Q-snap and get started. So I was going to work on this last weekend, but I didn't have time during the weekend. Also, I injured myself while I was cutting fabric for my bag, and so that made it so that stitching was a little bit difficult. Okay. Focus. Okay. Yeah. So that's probably happening this coming week. I'm also doing a new model stitch, or actually this is a test stitch coming up for Wolfpack Creation. She asked for test stitchers on, I believe, Snarky and Nerding Cross Stitching group on Facebook recently, and then she created her own group so that she could gather together the folks that wanted to stitch for her, and so I signed up to do one of her patterns. I don't know if the pattern itself is secret, so I won't show a picture of it quite yet, but my plan is to get that finished during the month of October so that I can get pictures of the finished product to her, let her know if there's any issues with the pattern, so on and so forth. But it looks like a really cool stitch. It's not something I would normally stitch, but I love the colors. I love her style of artwork, so I'm very excited to do that. I have all the flosses ready to go. I have a piece of fabric, so I'm going to take that with me on vacation as well, so that's another piece that I'm going to get started. I also have another model stitch that I will be starting probably later in the month, or maybe November, for the same designer that I did my first model stitch for. It's very hush-hush. She's not even announced what she's doing with this pattern yet, so... But yeah, so model stitching all the way. I'm super excited about it. So it's a great piece. I love the idea behind it. It's going to be awesome. So those are my plans for right now. And like I said, I'm not going to show you any haul and stuff yet. I will do that next time I do Flosstube, just so I can actually give those things their due. I also have several other things that will probably show up in the mail once I pick it back up from the post office after we get back. So rather than showing part of it now and being too rushed, I'll give it all its due once I get back. So the only other thing, last little bit of business, actually two pieces of business. The Etsy shop will be closed while I'm on vacation, so I've already gone ahead and put it on vacation mode as of now. I'll open it back up when I get back in town. If you need or want something in the meantime, you can always email me at mislaidpages@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to help you in whatever way I can. I won't be completely out of pocket as far as communication goes, but I certainly may not answer as quickly as I might normally answer. So the other last thing is Season of Smalls. Season of Smalls is still going on. It's October, but you have until the 11th to get your finish in for Season of Smalls. We have tons of finishes. It's so fantastic. We have a total of 27 finishes so far. Now a couple of those are multiple finishes from the same person, which is fabulous, but that does mean we have fewer than 27 entrants, but we do have 27 finishes. And there's absolutely going to be a nice fancy video of all the different finishes once Season of Smalls is officially over and it's time to draw the winners. I will do a fancy video for all of everybody's finishes. If I have time, I'll edit in a short musical clip with just with the pictures that I have gotten since the last time I posted an update. That may or may not happen. We'll see how quickly I can get it done. It's a lot of pictures, folks. It's a lot of pictures. So we'll see if I can get that sort of automated and up quickly. And if I can't, then I'll include that right at the end. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope I wasn't too late. I I hope this wasn't too like intense for you. I wanted to say hi to everybody. It's been a little too long. I wanted to make sure that you knew that I was still thinking about you all, and especially those of you who've entered into Season of Smalls. I've gotten some amazing, really awesome comments, and a lot of folks are thankful that that I did the hashtag, and that Rachel, helped me to make this sort of an event that folks could get involved in. A lot of folks are saying that this gave them a reason to actually work towards a finish. It gave them a reason to pick up their needles again and start cross stitching, and it's fantastic to know that I had a part in helping people be inspired to cross stitch. So thank you all so much for your kind words. Thank you all so much for your finishes. There's some amazing pieces in there, and I'm so excited and inspired by everything that you have all done. So thank you so much. Again, if I have time, I'll throw some clips in right here at the end. Otherwise, I'll try to post some videos next week if I can. If I can't, then I will see you when I get back from vacation. I hope you all are staying happy and healthy and safe. I hope you're all well, and I will see you next time. Have a great one.